If I put this down here, what happens? This end is now locked in place. It cannot pivot up. If that end goes down, and this end isn't free to come up to match,
pull your boat up.
Okay? Pull boat up, or if there's enough buoyancy in the boat, what's going to happen? Think about how you break a piece of wood.
Right, it's going to
stick it in something, you stand on the end of the wood, and you put all your pressure on the other end, and it snaps in the middle. Paddle's going to break just the same. Okay. If I apply excessive downward force on that side, and the boat cannot come over, or the blade cannot come up on this side to match it, all the stress that's here, that would be normally upward, equal an opposite reaction. Downward force has to come up here. If it can't come up here, it'll travel down the paddle to its weakest spot. Right? At this point, it'll probably break at the ferrule every time. If I continue to apply downward pressure on that blade, this one will pop. Okay. So the problem with doing this is that if you apply too much pressure, you'll break the blade. If you can climb up without applying full pressure on the end of the blade, which is what we're supposed to do, we're only supposed to use it for support or bracing.
Okay.
We're not supposed to use it to put all our weight on.
So if you're not climbing up on it,
you can do it. But in a panic situation, if you're in current, wind, waves, you slip trying to get up on the deck, and you add up for even a moment, put all of your weight on that blade, it's going to snap. If it doesn't snap, what we also don't know is how much stress the blade has been under and how much it's weakened the blade over time. Okay. It's a repetitive injury essentially to your paddle. Every time it sits under here and you apply force, it's stressing the fibers. And it's not just wood, the carbon fiber paddles that I see break. I have actually seen now aluminum ones, wood ones. I've seen them from multiple manufacturers, and I've seen both Greenland and Euroblades. It does not matter. They take a certain amount of force before they give. So if it's under here and you do not have any flex on this blade, too much force on that is going to snap. The argument is, well, I've got a paddle float on there.
Okay, yes.
And the paddle float will prevent the blade from sinking too far into the water, which will minimize the amount of downward force that you can apply on that end.
Right.
That paddle float only has so much buoyancy. Yep. If I put the paddle float on the paddle and I climb on top of it, I will sink the paddle float. Yes. If my boat doesn't come up equally as that blade goes down, snap. And it can depend on the location where this is. But we're also not just stressing the paddle, we're stressing the boat. These lines are going to take a certain amount of abuse before they ultimately snap, knots break, right? So these get a lot of abuse. They're replaced every year or two as it is. Most people don't. So old lines can easily snap, especially if they're any UV degradation. The other thing is all the fittings in the boat. Most of the fittings, yours are a bit different because they're plastic, it's weaved through. These are a bit different. They're reinforced and it's on the inside, but most deck fittings are screwed in. Yep. And on a composite boat, every time I'm pulling up on this, I'm straining the fitting. If I'm putting excessive weight, if I'm putting 150 some odd pounds of weight on the back of that, pulling up at 150 pounds on this end, it can break the fittings out of the deck over time. You're just putting additional stress on the hull itself. So
it makes sense.
If you do it right, it works. If you do it wrong, you risk damaging, other than you, blade and boat. And then it leaves us with a broken paddle, which in the water, a really sharp, jagged edge paddle is not a good thing.
Well,
right? If you're climbing over this thing and it splits and slices up through a dry suit, for you, we've just taken a bad situation and made it extremely bad. If you don't cut yourself or your dry suit or anything else you've got on, you still got to tuck a paddle up underneath deck lines to keep them, so you still have a jagged edge somewhere, either on the outside, which could be somebody coming around the boat to get caught on, or on this side, which means somebody doing assisted rescue using the front can actually get caught on. So I don't want broken, sharp, pointy objects. So I am not even going to take a risk of these getting in.